Dan Snyder is open to selling the Washington Commanders to Jeff Bezos. This is obviously a massive development because people put in pitches to potentially buy the Commanders, and the only person that got to decide whether or not his team was actually for sale was Dan Snyder. Just yesterday, Magic Johnson was on the Today Show or Good Morning America or How You Doing? Up in the morning on television.
Right. Up in Adams.
Whatever the name it is. Up in Adams, maybe. I don't think it was that. It was actually in New York.
Yeah, I forgot that was.
But he said, I got a ring in every sport, but I need a Super Bowl ring. He was wearing a great suit and tie, by the way. Very jovial. He is a lightning rod every time he's on. And I would love to be the owner of the Commanders to not only do great work on the field, but to do the work we could do with the city. I think if they bless us, Mr. Snyder blesses us, with the opportunity to be an owner, it would be an emotional day for me. My father just died, so it would be a great moment for the Johnson family, as well as Josh Harris, who is the lead partner in this, to take that franchise and take it to another level. So I'm kind of excited about it. And another African-American owner, by the way, is what Magic just threw out there to the entire NFL, which is very true. He has his LAFC team in the MLS just won. He has the Dodgers. They've won in the past. He has the Spark. They've won in the past. So this would be, obviously, the NFL winning a Super Bowl would be the grand slam of ownership titles for Magic Johnson, who has been an incredible businessman since the day he got money. The thought, though, that Dan Snyder is the person that Magic Johnson on this morning show has to say, please, Mr. Snyder, is a you don't think that's a position that Dan Snyder's bopping his meat to?
Oh my God.
Yeah, right.
Allegedly.
100%. Allegedly. He's on that yacht, docked up at Napoleon's home island over there in France, bopping his meat to the thought that Magic Johnson has to get on TV and say, please, Dan, let us give you $6 billion. So now today it's been reported that Dan Snyder told Jeff Bezos months ago that he is okay to buy the Commanders, and Dan Snyder now has a healthy understanding that Jeff Bezos does not control what the Washington Post investigates or writes. He is merely an owner. That's via Charles Gasparino, Fox Business Market reporter.
There it is.
So that is where we stand with the Commanders. Bezos potentially has known that he could get in, has not made an official offer yet. Is he just waiting until the very end to stop with the fuckery and then just going to go $100 million more than whatever the next person is? Or is Bezos not going to be in for the Commanders because he doesn't want to own that particular franchise that still needs a stadium and a lot of new shit to potentially be a program of the future that can run early?
Well, even $100 million. Like, why wouldn't Bezos just say, okay, you know what, $6 billion is what you want? I'll just give you $7 billion. Because by the time I get this money to you, I probably already made another $1 billion off the stuff with Amazon.
That is what Bezos does, doesn't he?
Yeah, like it doesn't even matter for him. That's not even.
Wouldn't he be all fucking jacked up to build a stadium and name it fucking Jeff Bezos.com stadium? And
Prime, probably call it the Prime House.
Like he lives for that. That's like one of the only things he hasn't done is make his own fucking stadium and own a sports team.
I'm surprised he hasn't just built a city yet at this point, but he's always just on his yacht, all jocked. Jeff Bezos always jocked.
Super jocked.
He helped build Seattle's arena for the hockey team. He helped.
The Kraken?
The Kraken?
Yeah, he helped with that.
How are they? Are the Kraken good?
Pretty good. They're going to make playoffs this year.
Hey!
How about it?
The Crack House is a good stadium.
Started from a tight shirt with Sean Kemp.
Yeah, well, he was having a little self-defense situation in the parking lot the other day, Sean Kemp.
That's right.
But what do you think about the Commanders sale, Pac-Man? Obviously, if Jeff Bezos gets in there, that's a lot of money coming in the league. That's good for players. That's good for everybody. In my mind, I wonder how other owners would feel.
Oh, I think they would like it. I think this is now that Bezos is in, and he just came out and cleared up the Washington Post thing. I think he gets it over Magic, but you never know. I don't know.
Hold on, wasn't Bezos going to have Jay-Z and Matthew McConaughey allegedly a part of his crew? Right, allegedly.
Yeah, right. Which would also have another.
So think about Snyder going, Bezos, I did tell you that going to need a song on a Jay and Beyonce in there. You know,
my birthday party.
We are tired. Shout out Dan Snyder. You know,
there's a reason why Magic came out and saying please.
Yes.
Yeah.
He ain't just coming out to fucking say please for no reason.
Wouldn't the other owners want the Magic group though, because they already own sports teams, so they're kind of more aligned with the other owners? Where Bezos comes in, and those owners have no idea what he's going to be like. He he's not part of the old guard. He's part of a new money, new guard. He could do fucking anything.
It's interesting because the Waltons came in. They don't have any other sports teams, I do not believe, except for the brother Stan, who has every sports team.
Yeah.
So I guess they do have a little bit of experience in the sports world. Bezos has. I'll be intrigued to see what the Amazon Thursday night package.
Does that
and then the
change?
Black Friday game that is allegedly supposed to be Amazon exclusive, new American tradition is what they're going to, I think, try to start to create this year. I wonder if Bezos will have to remove himself from that. I don't know how you do that though.
Right.
Because that's like.
Or do he play all his games on Amazon?
Yeah, that's
the
what.
Commanders.
And then, well, how will the other owners feel? I mean, there's a lot to probably get figured out there. Dan Snyder's in control of it all, which is right where Dan Snyder wants to be. This is one of the greatest trolls of all time. Dan Snyder.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Snyder put the middle finger down. Dan Snyder said, you know what, Jeff Bezos, you can give me $6 billion to buy the Washington Commanders. This was allegedly an agreement that was made a couple months back. Jeff Bezos has learned that he is allowed to buy the Washington Commanders, and Dan Snyder would bless him with the Washington Commanders. And Jeff Bezos has explained to Dan Snyder that although he is the owner of the Washington Post, he is not actually in charge of the contents of the Washington Post. And Dan Snyder has come to understand that the investigative reporting and the punditry about how terrible his building has been from the city's biggest paper and one of the national papers, Washington Post, that is owned by Jeff Bezos, isn't necessarily Jeff Bezos writing it or calling people to write it so that he could potentially get in there. Jeff Bezos has not made an official offer for the Commanders, even after learning of this information. If you look at the timeline on it all, what are your thoughts? Bezos is inevitably going to buy the Commanders with Jay-Z and Matthew McConaughey, or Magic Johnson making the plea on the Today Show yesterday about Dan Snyder please blessing us with allowing us to give him $6 billion to buy the Commanders. This is an interesting situation, but it sounds like Dan Snyder will no longer be an NFL owner if all these tea leaves are accurate.
Well, I mean, this is a great situation for Dan Snyder, right? He has multiple people bidding billions and billions of dollars for the team that he owns that he sounds like he did not want to get away from it, but now the money is going to be so much. I would imagine there's a lot of pressure from the other owners and everyone else. So, yeah, I mean, why not? So the bids, though, don't they claim they're blind bids? I would imagine this is going to whoever the highest bidder is, but I know they have to claim it's not.
No, because it was the Bolin Fund or something. It was the this one's for Pat, his family trust or something.
Oh,
that was the angle where they said we have to take the most amount of money because it's the trust. It's not like that's what they said.
Is it Dan Snyder's decision though to take okay? So why would he not take the highest bidder?
Well, of course. That's what we're thinking.
Exactly.
But I think there's a chance where people...
Can they push him? Can they lean him one way? Can they nudge him one way or the other, Raj or whoever?
Magic Johnson was on the Today Show saying, if Dan Snyder... Come on, we...
You know why, man? The owners having a meeting. They having their talks between the owners. Hey, who the fuck are you letting in here? Y'all want me? And Frank, it's no black owners right now, buddy, in the NFL.
That's an interesting thing. Is there any? There's none, not even...
Zero. I'm talking about their own straight... Like majority, like what Magic Johnson is doing? No, it's not one.
That was a move by Magic Johnson to go on the Today Show, by the way. Because in the quote, he actually said African and another African-American owner. So there's probably minority owners, we'd assume, that are minorities in the NFL. We would assume that is the case. We do not know every minority owner around the NFL because some of them I don't even think are disclosed. There's some people that have a percentage of a team, 2% of a team, 5% of a team, 10% of a team. Tepper, former minority owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe Haslam was a former minority owner for the Steelers. Like, there's a lot of different, people that have already done business with the NFL, have a percentage of the NFL that we don't know. But Magic going on there saying, hey, I am certainly in this game. Josh Harris is the lead investor. I'm right there in it next to him. That's a big move by Magic, and maybe it does sway Dan Snyder to make a babyface play towards the end of this whole thing.
Well, don't you think it also looks good? It doesn't look good, but it feels good to have Magic Johnson involved in the NFL. We've seen the businessman that he is. He'll be, we'll get his awesome Twitter, his observations about what happened in the games. Everyone's going to be following along. You wait for those Magic tweets. I know they're pretty in-depth and amazing. So
they're tackling out here.
Well, that's the thing with
running around the right side, touchdown.
That's the only thing he hasn't been great at. I think in the history of his life.
I think he's great at it.
Yeah, you're right. He's found his niche.